Sorry, people. Yeah, I'm back with another recording today. This recording is a bit different, to be fair. And I'm going to call it Attracting Future Frequency and Energy. But before I go and talk about that, I want to talk about something that I have noticed over the past week and a half, which is really quite, it's got me a bit stumped, but I think I understand it. Now, in the parish that I live, it's a very small one. The town is very, very busy, but I use certain retail shops. And in these shops that I use, I know the people that work in the shop. And I usually stop and have a chat and have a laugh and, wish everybody a good day and all the rest of it. But what I've seemed to have noticed, that the people in these shops that I tend to, have a discussion with or stop and talk to them, I've noticed over the past week and a half, they've changed towards me. Now, one person in particular, she absolutely blanks me out as if like I've got something coming out my nose. And this person, normally, we can have a chat, have a laugh, and sometimes I'm still talking to her while she's still serving other customers. But just recently, no, none of that at all. It's like I am not the same person. She can't even look at me in the face. Now, there's another guy who lives down the road, and he also will not look at me whatsoever. Now, I'm wondering whether it's because my frequency has changed, or I'm not sure what's going on, but there's quite a few people that I tend to talk to normally that are just not wanting anything to do with me. And when you see somebody that and you're walking towards them and you slow down to have a chat, they carry on walking. That's how embarrassing it is. I can't believe. Now, so that is that, really. Today, this afternoon, I started to meditate. And this meditation session that I had was completely different. Now, please try and keep up with me. I'm going to start from last night, although I'm talking about today. I recently had my transmission changed in my car. And last night, when I was coming back from a place called Clarendon, I tend to drive down the road to reverse and to drive back up the road because the traffic coming down the road is really quite fast and dangerous. So I drove down the road, stopped, put my car into reverse, and there was no power there. I was probably there about 15 minutes trying to, put it into reverse and put my foot on the accelerator and leaving it for a couple of minutes. And in the end, I turned the car off. So the transmission came from Japan last week. So I had to act on it really quite quick. So I went to see the guy who I bought the transmission off this morning. And he was certainly in his ego. And he was like trying to, I'm not sure if he's trying to goad me or but he was not really talking to me about what he should have been talking to me about and what he was going to do in the event that the transmission that I bought from him was absolutely faulty. And I thought to myself, and this is really quite unusual for me, I thought to myself, this guy's not going to wind me up. So I tackled it really quite differently to the fact that, because I knew that if I responded normally, I would have wound myself up and perhaps me and this guy would have had an argument. So I left this guy on a high. I was on a high. So, because I thought, I'm not going to let this guy upset me. So I had a word with him. Didn't really get very far, but I'm going to have to go back and see him soon. And I left there not being upset. So I went to see the mechanic, completely different. Yes, Ian, if there's any more problems, bring it in and we'll try and sort it out. So that was that. So I came home and it was absolutely torrential rain, thunder, lightning. So I sat outside on the veranda and I started to meditate. And what I seen, with my eyes closed, was absolutely white light. And, and the only way I can explain this is if my eyes were open, I would have been blind, but my eyes were closed. But it was absolutely, can I say deafening? Bright? I don't know. But, it was very, very bright. And normally, when you close your eyes, it's dark. But this was bright, very bright. So I was sitting there and I was thinking, wow, this is different. So what had happened is that my intuition started to talk to me about connecting with my future self. And it says, it just said future self. So I just carried on meditating, and all I could then see was my aura colours come in, and and they were intermingling, and I could actually see orbs as well shooting off and shooting in, and then all these different. It was like a camera lens shutting and opening, but what I could see was all these different colours, all over the place, and then that just went. Then my aura started intermingling, and it was so relaxing. I could have actually fallen asleep. It's so relaxing. And what happened after that point was, I could see all these different symbols, and they were moving really quite slow, going out from myself and coming in, and then these different auras shooting really, really quite fast. And it was really quite I'm gonna say wonderful, because it was wonderful. And and even now I feel really quite spaced out, to be quite honest with you. I feel really quite spaced out and really quite calm. And and at the moment I'm thinking, and I'm being completely honest now, what I'm thinking at the moment, internally, what I'm thinking, or I can't even say am I thinking energetically or whatever, but what I'm feeling is that I need to do this recording today to express what had happened today, particularly in my meditation, for me then to say I've done that, and tomorrow is going to be a completely different day, and that's what I can sense. And it's like, I know that something is, I'm going to say on the horizon, but it's not on the horizon, it's here now. And I can't seem to grab hold of it to tell you what it is, but I know that something is changing inside me, and I can feel it. And it's like I'm overly excited. It's like I'm a child going on holiday for the first time, and I'm so excited. And that's how I feel at the moment. And I don't know, in terms of the awakening process, as we all know that's going through this, one day you're up, next day you're down, one day you're up, next day you're down, or one day you're up and the next 2 days you're down, or you're up, it's very, very strange depending on how you feel. So the only thing I can say at this moment in time is that the way I'm feeling now is certainly something is happening. Something's on the rise for me. And, and if it's not, then, I'm sadly mistaken, but only time will tell. But certainly I'm feeling that this is something that the door's open. The door's open, and I'm going to be walking through it. And from when I walk through it, there's going to be a complete change. That's how I feel. I feel really quite not spaced out, but I feel really quite free. I feel really quite light. Like all these different issues that I've had over a long period of time has just gone. And because it's gone, that's where the lightness has come from. It's like all the burdens that I've been carrying around with me for such a long time has just disappeared. And certainly from the way I responded today with this manager or the owner of the shop, that was completely unexpected of me, really. I'm not saying either that I'm a challenging person or I'm an aggressive person or whatever, but I will stand up for my rights when I know I'm in the right. That's how I am. But if I'm doubtful, then I'll back off. But certainly today, I knew that I was in the right, and I would have challenged this guy for what he was actually saying to me, but I just let it go. Straight over my head. And I walked away, and I thought, even when I walked away, I thought, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. So this feeling that I've got now, it's been with me all day. It's been with me all day. And as the day progresses, and I can feel my heart, not pumping, but it feels free, and I feel really quite light and happy. I feel happy. I haven't felt this way in months. So, people, this channel has been created so I can express what is actually going on with me in terms of witchcraft and also the awakening process, really. And this is what it's about. It's about trying to express myself so other people can actually, take something from what I'm expressing, because they might actually be, or you might be actually feeling the same thing. So that's my recording for today, really. I'm not going to overload it, because I've said what I've said, and God, I feel absolutely amazing. That's how I feel. I feel really amazing, and I hope tomorrow when I wake up that I've still got the same feeling. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make another recording tomorrow, because I really need to follow this through. I haven't felt this way in months. In fact, in years, to be quite honest with you, in years. So, people, time will tell what I've found, my experiencing something different. Is this a big change in me that is going forward? I really couldn't tell you, but I hope it is, because I feel amazing. Thank you for listening, and I'm looking for subscriptions, because I obviously want to take this channel in directions that's going to be beneficial for other people that are actually going through the awakening process or are experiencing witchcraft, or whatever I establish as I'm going forward, to be quite honest with you. But I'm feeling good. Thank you. Take care.